Hey, what is up, guys? It's Giltspire here, and welcome back to Champions of the Fog. I am joined here today by ChefDBD. Chef, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, Gil. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. Cannot complain. I am very excited for today's match of How Did We Get Here versus Object of Depression. How about you?
I'm excited for this game. I'm just excited for the game.
I'm happy to hear that. Well, we'll be starting off on the good old Thompson house, where we are going to be seeing whether or not the killer is going to be able to navigate the corn. If you had to take a guess on the killer being brought today, what would your thoughts be?
Well, as you know from the Sample Text versus Monarchy game, they brought both a spirit and a blight. We saw a spirit, we saw a blight, we saw a nurse, and we saw two nurses actually. We saw two nurses, a blight and a spirit. So I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be pulling out S tiers like earlier today.
Yeah, I mean, realistically speaking, if you're not bringing S tier on what is your last match of the regular season, there really is no reason in the grand scheme of things. So I definitely am expecting some S tiers here from either team. Looking like from the killer tracker, it does appear that How Do We Get Here has access to pretty much every single killer as of this moment. So, you know, we could be seeing a nurse, we could be seeing spirit, we could be seeing blight, a whole lot more. So definitely excited to see what they decide to bring to the table. Noting, though, however, all the remaining matches for today, the teams do not have the ability to make playoffs. Our last playoff match was Sample Text versus Monarchy, where Monarchy did come up on top. So, you know, for all intent and purpose, these are kind of more or less just bragging rights, you know, having some fun, getting some comp games in, and closing out the regular season.
Just, call these just some, some statement games, or as you said, maybe some little friendly scrims, because like you said before, unfortunately, How Do We Get Here and OOD will not be, or Object of Depression will unfortunately not be making playoffs. But this could be, just some practice for next season. Try to have a feeling around of what can we want to try to bring for the preseason or the start of season 2.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And for those who are not aware, Season 2 will be starting in January. We already have pretty much every single team signed up as of this moment, with a few changes here and there before then, but getting pretty excited for that. So if you guys are watching and have not already followed, definitely make sure to do so. But before we get to Season 2, we do need to finish out Season 1. We have playoffs next Saturday, the 20th, starting at 12 p.m. CST, so definitely make sure to be there to find out who is moving to finals on the 27th.
That's going to be an action-packed match right there, if I could say so myself, Go.
No, absolutely. But with that being said, we are jumping right on in for trial number 1. And How Do We Get Here will be killing first on the Thompson house. And I don't know, for me, I'm imagining a Slashy as a killer, probably a nurse. What are your thoughts there?
Unfortunately, right now, I can't really see the game. But I feel like there will be a nurse. He'll be playing nurse as well.
Yeah, thank you for that heads up. Almost forgot to do so, though. Weren't seeing much to begin with. But I'm definitely thinking nurse here for this first match. But we'll have to wait and see. Also, for those who are not aware, we are bringing a shack offering to be in, or a basement offering to be in shack due to some interesting hook spawns. But we see it is a spirit, so close enough. Not a nurse, but it is a spirit.
It's a walking nurse who can zoom
I mean, if you want to go into walking nurse, that by far is definitely the artist, which I cannot wait for her to come to DBD on the 30th.
If you had to place her in the little tier list, what would you place her at? She has a really good just altogether.
Some people disagree, but I'm saying that she has the capacity to be the next S tier killer, hands down.
I agree 100% with that as well. I had a little experience with the artist because of some issues in the community, with DDoSes, so I didn't spend as much time, and I didn't really have any custom play. But for that, she could have really good Just a really good roundabout killer. A good pressure around the map and a really good chase power.
I would definitely agree, but we do see Slash here trying to find this ace, but looking to have potentially have lost them completely. Ace doing a fantastic job of getting that stun and getting the hell out of dodge. So it looks like Spirit is going to be on the prowl for another chase here at this point in time.
Well, he lost the Spirit, so they should try to go back to camping out Corrupted Plate him, unless they want to go already on a gen.
I mean, realistically speaking, though camping out Corrupt makes sense, you know, since that first chase, most of ours are definitely going to be right on top of the gens. So it makes sense in this case to, you know, see Survivors on gen, have Rune get some value. And it looks like Yui here is going to be trying to either hold W or mind game the Spirit, and does get the mind game very, very nice, as we do see the Thompson House gen pop off while this chase is afoot.
Yui's just giving Slash a good chase at the moment.
A very good chase, and with a fantastic Dead Hard get out of the way, and that pallet's still up, he will make some additional distance. So fantastic job on the Yui's part. We'll have to wait and see whether or not this Spirit is going to be able to get her, and sure enough, another whiff, allowing this Yui to get this pallet.
Yui's using that moment, and I feel like a little bit of this has to do with the nerf with Spirit, with directional hearing. If you agree, Gil, at all?
Yeah, and I would definitely agree with that thought process, where the directional hearing definitely makes Spirit a whole lot worse in the grand scheme of things. So it's definitely difficult for Spirits to mind game a little bit better, and a whole lot easier for Survivors to mind game while she's in phase walk, relying on those scratch marks. But it looks like Slashy is not giving up on this chase just yet, as the second gen pops off, and it looks like Yui will finally be going down 2 gens later.
Well, what is it? So basically, I just good job on the down, but as you saw, she wasted a little bit of time trying to get gen that was super far from the map. I was just kept chasing with the Yui. I just waited to pop the gen.
Yeah, I think Slashy, realistically speaking, kind of gave up on the chase, and then after not finding anyone on that gen, probably decided to re-engage out of desperation. They were able to get the down, which is good, but I'm not sure if this pressure is going to be worth it, as they do go for the hit on the ace, missing though, and hitting Yui on hook. So let's take a perspective of what the ace is seen here, as he is now looping the Spirit, but going back for the unhook, trying to get there before getting the hit so that it's not a 1-for-1 trade, but Spirit not allowing him to do that, and an attempted spin, and this looks to be 1-for-1 trade, maybe for a deliverance. We'll have to wait and see here.
For now, we see the ace go picked up by Spirit. Sharper flashlight save, not doing the avail, but probably deliverance play like you said before. And surprisingly, Yui made a lot of distance. I'm very surprised.
Yeah, she got the hell to dodge there, and is going to be probably just holding W to Shaq to final reset point. And sure enough, we do see Mr. Dave with that deliverance play, and it looks like the Spirit will be going back to the ace as we see another gen pop off. And looked like as we did flip by, another gen was about to be complete. And Mr. Dave here, playing smart, dropping that pallet, and once again making some distance from the Spirit. And I'd be surprised not to see this last gen pop in just a few moments. Actually, I think it did. I think as we're flipping through, it did pop off.
Yeah, the last gen pop, I played the thing, I saw the Yui get healed up 1 health, so she had adrenaline.
Indeed, indeed, it looks like these Survivors have already 99 these gates too.
Nice down by the Spirit. I mean, have you counted all the perks that she had? I haven't really seen any other perks Spirit had. She had Ruin, Pop, and Corrupt. I wonder what her 4th perk is.
Yeah, so risky speaking, I would be willing to bet maybe there was Undying that we just had not paid attention to. That'd be my only thought process. But with that being said, we do see Mr. Dave back up on the hook, and I do foresee Slashy will be camping this out to deny the 4-man out, which I think at this point is probably the best play given the circumstances.
These guys try to at least get 1 kill on the board. He has 5 hooks right now, and maybe they trade. Maybe a trade could happen, and he could get a little bit of a grab, which unfortunately didn't happen. He could have just kept it fresh, hooked it up, and got more points for his team.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting here because if an instance that whether it be the Nancy or the Feng Min were to go down and get hooked, that's going to give the killer a number of additional points that they otherwise would not have gotten. But it looks like Yui will be coming in for the flashlight save. And that will probably be a 4-man out at this point.
Yeah, it's probably a 4-man out. That was a really good save by that Nancy.
Absolutely. And sure enough, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is a full 50 points for these survivors on Object of Depression. And 12 points for how do we get here, Spirit.
Is that Strider that she was running?
That was indeed Strider. So definitely an interesting choice, especially with how it has been nerfed in comparison to Iron Will, which we did see Trix have that match. At the same time, for those who do not do any EQ boosting, Strider is still a pretty nice perk for Spirit, all things considered, if you can't think of a fourth. In comp, would I say it is a auto-include? Probably not. I would say you're better off bringing an Undying, bringing a, you know, Thana, so on and so forth, right?
Yeah, just Thana or another Undying. Haunted would be a good pick too. Just try to get another down. But you know, Slasher probably had a plan with Strider that unfortunately couldn't go with because this is how well these survivors played.
Absolutely, absolutely. But with that being said, we will be flipping the sides here where we have Object of Oppression as the killer jumping onto the Thompson house. And I do believe we're either going to be seeing Mr. Dave or Kieran jump on in. We'll be confirming here in just one moment.
Have you ever seen any of these two play actually? It's been a really long time since I've seen, of course, Kieran play killer against me.
That's a good question. I think I've seen Mr. Dave play a few times as killer. I think I've seen Kieran play as killer as well. But it's slipping my mind what they have played prior, so we'll have to wait and see. I mean, they have a pretty commanding lead here at this point in time, so I would imagine that maybe they don't feel like they need to bring S tier killer. At the same time, I mean, as we said prior, there's no reason for them not to, given that this is the last match of the Saturday division. And as we also mentioned, there is no chance for either team to make playoffs, so kind of more playing for bragging rights, as we mentioned.
Yeah, just a bragging right game or just whole friendly scrim. And with friendly scrims come Demogorgon play, so hopefully we see that in the game too.
You, my friend, are always open for the Demogorgon, aren't you?
Yes. He's just one of my favorite killers. And like I said, well, he is leaving very soon.
Will you be doing an honorary demo stream come the 17th, you know, showing your respects for the Stranger Things?
Yes, 48-hour demo stream. Yep. Only say the best for last, too.
Okay, just say the best for last, you know, not even using Demo's own perks.
No, not even. I'll use them in the first 2 hours, and I'll just want to say the best for last the whole time.
That's fair, that's fair. With that being said, it does look like we have Certified Persona as the first killer here on Object of Depression. Once again, we will be on the Thompson house, so we'll have to wait and see. If we take a look at the killer tracker real quick, Object of Depression has used their Nurse, has used their Oni, has used their Blight, so in comparison to how do we get here, they have burned a far more number of killers in comparison. So I mean, if we saw anything, maybe we see another Spirit. They have only used one Spirit this entire season.
Yeah, with these two teams, how do we get here? Of course, they have the versatility of their S tiers, seeing how they just never use, how they use few or maybe just one. But OOD, who's had, you know, rough games trying to bring the games back, they of course use some of their S tiers. And I'm pretty sure they have a nurse, right? Nope,
they just have Spirit. Are you talking about how do we get here?
I'm talking about OOD.
OOD, nope. OOD does not have Nurse, does not have Blight, does not have Oni.
Wow, so we'll probably see a Spirit in the first game and probably something else in the second game. Of course.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. But at the same time, like I said, that commanding lead, you don't really need to. So if Certified Persona is not exactly a big Spirit player, maybe we end up seeing, you know, an A tier or B tier killer instead. If you had to guess what that might be, what would you expect? Honestly, I know you want Demo, but not Demo.
Well, demo, he's not really an A tier killer. So as much as I want him to be, he's not an A tier killer. But probably we could see a Pyramid Head. We could see a Plague. I've seen some people bring Huntress on Thompson actually. So there's a lot of choices that you could bring.
Yeah, I think especially with how wide open that middle area is, or can be, I think even if you wanted to go like a tier further down, you could always bring like a Billy even for mobility.
Yeah, you're right. A Billy could, of course, just shred through the corn with his mobility, but it's just also just those loops too, how connected they are, and you never want to waste too much time in the chase. Billy's overheat could also get in the way. There's so many loops that also just fuck up curving.
Yeah, that is true, that is true. I mean, we saw some really fun play from Cerebral Assassin's Hillbilly just last week. Unfortunately, they did not exactly get the results they are looking for, so maybe that kind of speaks to the fragility that Billy has in some of those stronger loops that these survivors can use on maps like Coldwind.
Of course. I wish Billy is back to where he was before. Despite his add-ons, he was so much way better. He was so much more better.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll get back to Space Billy, but it'll only time will tell. Only time will tell. First, I think Behavior is taking a look at Legion, which I am personally very excited for a potential Legion buff in the future.
What Legion buff do you think they'll bring into? I've always loved playing Legion from time to time. Actually, he was one of my bigger mains on console when I played.
I mean, if they're going to buff Legion, I'd say either reduce the fatigue time from his M2, or almost make it so that the deep wound tech is just base kit, where you stab survivors 3-4 times with Fatal Frenzy and they just get downed.
That would bring a lot of lethality in this chase too. What's one thing he always lacked, but in 4v1s, in my opinion, he's one of the strongest killers just on time. You hit everyone, they have them in. And if they don't heal, you can just easily get an M1. But that is the cost of how good a survivor plays.
And definitely agree. But with that being said, we are jumping on into trial number 2. Once again, this is Object of Oppression on Killer, and we'll be spawning in on the Thompson house. My bet here is going to be Billy Boy. What say you? What's your final guess?
I'm still on the S tier train. I still want to see probably a Spirit.
Okay. I mean, Spirit is nice on these corn maps just for the fact that it's a bit more environmental information that you do get while in phase walk if they are going through that middle area. So I could definitely be with you on that thought process.
Well, that's only one thing. And of course, like I always said in Champions of the Fog, anything could happen.
This is true, this is true, but that being said, we will not have to wait long to find out what Certified Persona is bringing to the table. Like I said, my final guess is going to be Bubba Boy, and at the end of the day, if how do we get here, I'm kind of hoping that's not going to be an S tier. I'm really hoping that they're going to give us the opportunity to, come on back, get that 4-man out, and try and type the game before we move into game number 3.
Well, game number 2, I called a unpredictable round into game number 3, I call it game 3 to game 4. You need to do this and that if you're either in the lead or you're just far behind trying to catch back up. So game 2 and 3 I find are very good. What is it? What's the word? You need to be very alert, visual.
They mean a lot. They're kind of the make or break matches. If you lost game number 1, then you're kind of coming in game number 2 saying, I have to win this. Otherwise, you really have to come back in game number 3. But otherwise, game number 3 really does decide where the scales tip going into game number 4. Then if it comes season 2, it's going to become a little bit more balanced. But with that being said, it does look like we're about to jump on in. And we see a Bubba.
Was that one of your picks?
I picked Billy, close enough, part of the Chainsaw Brothers team.
As we see here, the typical corrupt, just, try to keep the teams from, getting done too quickly. And we see the obvious trend, in my opinion, the mobility add-ons with the award-winning chili and the Beast Marks they are.
Yep, yeah, so honestly though, I am surprised to see rewarding Chile Beast Mark here and not to see this Bubba just chainsawing around the map. I mean, that is what you need to do, and honestly, what a lot of Bubbas don't do, but we do see him going for the chainsaw here, trying to go for the mind game at the Harvester, but will end up tantruming instead, and Meg is going to be sprinting away with what looked to be maybe balanced landing.
Well, also, I don't know if this is a really good idea for Meg, because A, it's a Bubba, and if you didn't see before, the shack spawns in basement.
Yeah, so basement does spawn in shack, and so this could be a bit of a basement camp as Meg does end up going down, looking a little bit too far behind her, and ends up missing that pallet entrance.
I think, as you see, here's a Bubba with mad grit too.
That is indeed a Mad Grip Bubba, so we'll see if that comes into play if these survivors end up trying to body block, but I am doubtful of that. I don't think I want to be body blocking no Bubbas anytime soon.
Of course not, and I believe you could have somewhat camped this, but not really exactly, because this is how things are. There's one gen near that shack, if I saw it right. Yeah, there's one gen around shack, and there's one gen Harvey. He doesn't spread out all over the place. He found someone at the seawall, what do you want to call it?
That's actually a U-wall, so that was added for a lot of the reworks. It's definitely not as strong as Z-wall, as we all know the Z-wall is the strongest tile in the game, but Bubba no care, as they will end up dropping Geeky Giraffe at the Harvester, and I imagine Bubba might be trying to go back to basement, as I think that might be one of the closest hooks nearby.
I don't know, he's going to just put it right here at the Harvester. I feel like he's on time. If he sees some more Mad Grit value from the Bubba, I feel like he could have hit Mad Grit just in case he wanted to try for basement and people were going to take hooks. What do you think?
I mean, realistically speaking, I think that if I was Omega Lul, I probably would have already called out Mad Grit, as it's kind of hard to miss in those situations. So I think these survivors might be keen on the idea of not going for any body blocks. They'll probably give Bubba a wide berth, as he does deserve.
A wide berth is correct. And would you camp this a second? Because I'm pretty sure no one might come for this.
I mean, 5 gens, 2 hooks already, you probably could, as we do hear that first gen pop off. So he's at the very least seemingly going to proxy this hook, as we are moving into roughly 20 seconds away from Geeky Giraffe moving to second stage.
He has somewhat, it's not the best regen, but with his chainsaw, he could get around a little bit.
Yeah, for those who are not aware of the way that Bubba works in Chainsaw Dash, you're moving at a base 130% speed. With that awarding Chili and Beast Mark, you are moving that much faster. And case in point, as we see Giraffe move to second stage, and Hammy goes down at the U-wall.
Well, I wonder what Hammy's plan, the Nancy's plan was. I'm trying to go for the save.
My main thought there might have been to try and maybe get Deliverance activated, something to that degree.
I wonder what. 2 hooks right beside each other. I just camp this all together. And a blind? Wow, okay.
I'm not sure if that was a blind necessarily, or if they wiggled off, but nonetheless, they do end up getting Giraffe off the hook, but we do see the cape go down as the second gen now does pop off. So overall, a net positive here for these survivors, as they were able to get Giraffe off of the hook and make sure that no one else got traded in for a 2-for-1.
I'm curious if that a blind or not, or if that was a wiggle. Like, I'm just absolutely surprised. Because you saw it was just dropped behind him, basically, and he still got the blind on Bubba.
Yeah, I'm not sure what came first, the chicken or egg there, but someone will have to go back in on some slow-mo action to confirm. But looks like Bubba, once again, just going to proxy this out. He's kind of covering this gen here, in between there and Harvester, where the hook is as well, which overall is probably a very smart move on Bubba's part. You know, as long as they're not over by Shack, you know, he could stay here for a while, but looks like he's going to get a bit greedy, as he does find the Nancy, who starts to sprint first away, so Bubba will be going back to his hook to camp it once more.
The best part about this region, where those 2 gens he's standing right beside, is you can just hear him. You can just stand right in the middle and just hear what gen is being worked on. But the problem is that one Shack gen over there, how far he has to walk on the hook.
Yeah, that is the biggest problem here with Bubba's plan, though. Looks like he's going to be trying to take some line of sight and is going to be able to see whether or not anyone's over there, and does not appear to be the case. So Bubba feeling pretty confident here and does move Lesbian Love to second stage and find some scratch marks of the Meg, and will go for the chase with the chainsaw dash. Meg trying to make some distance here for this W, and just barely gets away.
That was a really good try by Bubba there. I feel like he almost had it.
Yeah, I think if he was maybe a bit more consistent in his pathing, definitely would have gone that. But we do see that unhook now on the Fang Min. My mistake, I thought it was Kate initially. And Meg will once again try and make it to the pallet. And looks like Bubba will opt to cut her off, quite literally, breaking that pallet. And as they now will move to Shaq, let's see if Meg makes the same mistake as she did before, looking too much far behind her. And she does not, as she does get the stun on the pallet this time around.
Get a hit and a pallet down that Shaq. That's pretty good. I find that as a really good, start of a chase. And she's running into the dead zone where everyone else has been hooked up.
Yeah, Meg's definitely in a bit of a world of hurt here if she's not able to make any distance, and sure enough, she will be going on the same hook that everyone else has been as well. This time, though, Meg will be on second stage, so she is a prime example of a survivor to get out of this game early.
Yep. And from what else we see, and the 3-gen is still intact also. And have you seen him kick any chins after a hook?
He's kicked one, which did tell us that he did have Pop Goes the Weasel. We did not announce it earlier, but we'll see it here again as this gen will get popped out of existence.
Well, now we know his full build, and he can just sit at his little Bubba post on the Harvester if he wanted to. He can hear both gens and check on that Shack gen anytime he wants to.
Yeah, this is true. And then best thing here for How Do We Get Here is probably just focus in on gens. And as I say that, they do just that. And we do see the 4th gen pop off. But it does mean now that Bubba has that 3-gen. And we see the 1 and the 2 survivors down.
Wow. I don't know if that was really the play right there. But what else are you supposed to do against the Bubba? I thought he was far enough for the save. But those add-ons got him there just in time.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Bubba was able to get to the hook and get the double down through the BT, so very well played by the Bubba, and this will be the first survivor out with the Meg on hook, though Hammy will end up getting out the hook with a deliverance.
Nice, that was... But what do you do now? Let's run for that.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of in a dead zone. Bubba's chainsaw through a lot of these pallets out here, so you're kind of in no man's land. Bubba taking a swing, though, ends up hitting a corner. Sammy trying to get to that window, but to no avail.
You did a pretty good job so far with that swing. Well, we still get the down and probably a pop on this gen again. Yep. I'd probably, if you want to slug and try to find it. Bang and the Nia here. And in my opinion, I feel like Bang is gonna try to go pick up too. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think here the pickup does make sense on Hammy. You should have enough time, and sure enough, we do see exactly that. However, Giraffe was moved to second stage earlier when they went on hook, so this will be another survivor out of the game for How to Get Here, making it, in my opinion, probably nigh impossible for them to get this last gen completed.
Yeah, he just kept the 3-gen intact. All of his hooks were in the set 3-gen too, so we really didn't have to go anywhere to stay on his Harvester. But we see the pickup on Nancy, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna be resetting on the other side of the map. What do you think?
Yeah, that's more likely the case, but we do see scratch marks here on this gen, and looks like Bubba will be moving towards where the survivor is going. Giving these survivors an opportunity to potentially get this 5th gen, which, as a reminder, is worth more than the solo escape. So the best thing that these survivors can do, more likely not, is go for this last generator, as Bubba's going to be going for a chainsaw down on the Fang Min. The Fang Min getting down, but won't be in time, as Bubba will chainsaw her instead.
A good down on the Fang. I'm pretty sure Nancy is either A, getting a gen done, or probably hiding. I feel like you should hide here. Because he's going to go back to the gens, pop him, go stay this 3-gen. He just camped it. You can see the gen. Gen's still up here. Oh, I didn't know Fang was dead either. That's interesting.
Yeah, Fang is dead on one. Currently alive is Hammy, as they did Deliverance earlier. And Bubba, as you said, checking his gen, seeing where this Nancy might be. But Hatch, unfortunately, spawning directly next to Bubba, too. And these exit gates ain't looking good either.
Why this is the GG's right here. Unfortunately, a good somewhat comeback for the survivors, but just Bubba taking this 3-gen nice swing. Okay.
I was saying maybe Bubba was thinking, like, does he have head on?
Maybe. I was thinking he had head on as well, which is funny.
I think maybe Hammy just want to pull some shenanigans, jumping in and out of the locker, but Bubba checking his chest and saying, it's A-okay. You know, I've done what I need to do, and this chest is safe.
Yep, I sacrificed every other survivor. Now it's time to go back to the primary objective here.
Exactly. Well, that being said, that match will result in 14 points for How Do We Get Here Survivor Team and 45 points for OOD's Bubba Boy. So total match we're looking at 95-26 in Object of Depression's favor.
Now, if you're How Do We Get Here, what do you do to prevent what happened this game?
I mean, realistically speaking, the biggest thing is being aware of the killer's terrorists. There are simply some killers that need to be respected, and Bubba is one of them, especially with good add-ons. Bubba's just able to make so much distance so quickly. Like I said, in his chainsaw dash, he's moving at 130% speed, so there's no reason to stick around his terrorists at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, Death Hook or just at all your gens, just respect his hair radius. You gotta, no matter what killer it is. If it's a Bubba, if it's what is it? If it's a Trapper, you just gotta move his hair radius because you don't know how fast you could go down, how short the chase would be, what's been set up if it's a Trapper or a Hag. Like, you just gotta leave hair radius to the most safe spot you know, and that's where there's no gens.
Yeah, no, pretty much. It comes down to just, you know, finding those reset points, getting there in time, healing, but also, as we saw, there's a lot of 1-for-1 and in some cases 2-for-1 hook trades. So that definitely is another issue entirely. So little things like that, if changed and made adjustments on, you know, can definitely go a long way against a Bubba.
We have Mr. Dave killing this time. And you said you've seen Mr. Dave kill. What killers have you seen him bring in the past?
Off the top of my head, like I said, both Mr. Dave and Certified Persona is hard for me to say, but I think here as well that Object of Depression is not exactly feeling any pressure, so more likely not, they might be bringing another A or B tier killer and not going for that S tier spirit here. I don't think they need to, especially with this lead going into trial number 3.
Yeah, but I think we're just going to see another B tier, right? Maybe a C tier. If they're feeling comfortable where they are. But this is the game 3. And How Do We Get Here could come back and bring it closer in game 4. They could just steal the win with that killer.
Yeah, so it's going to definitely be interesting. I mean, we're going on to another corn map, so there's the possibility of Wraith if all seen, though that did get nerfed. I'm trying to think what else I'd bring here as we're jumping on in. I'm trying to remember what map. I know it's another corn map. It's Torment Creek. Wraith is a good shout. Spirit once again is a good choice. And then once again, it's very open in the middle area. Has a few paths that you can kind of go down with Billy if you want to bring out Billy Boy.
I think we want to see another Billy. I probably should see a Billy. As what you pointed out, those long paths. Very open now on some sides of the map where his chainsaw can't get hit by. So if a Billy... Maybe even, I don't know what tools they have available, but we could some Billy.
Yeah, so if we look at Object of Depression's killers, like I said earlier, Nurse is out, Oni is out, and the Blight is out. Everyone else is fair game, so I think Wraith would probably be a pretty good shout here if they do not want to bring the S tier killers on game number 3.
Wraith and Billy. Wraith or Billy are my top 2 choices for who they're going to bring. That's really it.
All right, so in that case, I'm going to say Billy. Imagine you're going to say Wraith.
Yep.
All right. Sounds like a plan. So that is our general thoughts on that. As we're going to be waiting for these builds to come on in, we did make a mention of the artist. in game number 1. Want to get more of your thoughts on, what you think of the new perks, what you think of the new killer, the new survivor, the new map. What's your experience of the PTB?
My experience of the PTB was, like I said, very short. I was kind of panicking a little because when I first spawned into PTB, your game looks a little blurry, and what I saw was from a friend, the resolution was set to 67. I don't know if it happened to you, but my game was just very blurry. The main building the main building is beautiful. I love the inside. Unfortunately, it's super dark on the bottom, but at the top you do see a little bit of light where you can loop around. And there's one fun fact I learned about the main building, though. There's no, like, on the top floor, there's no, like, jumping off of the main building except in, which is interesting. Yep. So no balanced landing value.
I mean, there's still plenty of places where balanced land value, especially because there's 2 god pallets on the top floor of the main building, as well as a god window if the door is not broken. So plenty of god pallets, plenty of god windows, and plenty of balanced land value if you want to jump down into the middle, which is still a pretty strong spot based on the windows that get spawned.
Yeah, you're right there. I didn't really notice that many god pallets there, but I did notice the god windows. I've only seen like 1 or 2 pallets on the top of the building. I don't know if you've seen it. How many have you seen?
2 god pallets, 1 god window.
2 god pallets. I've seen 2 windows spawn up there actually.
To my knowledge, I think it's only 1, but I could be mistaken.
Yeah. And like every other map, there's a shack, which looks pretty cool. And I think the exit gates are the same. Because all the games I had a survivor and I played a little bit of killer games and some KYFs. There's one gate that's always behind shack or on the side of shack.
Interesting. So maybe they might be static exit gate spawns. I mean, it's a pretty big map. I don't know the exact dimensions, but I believe it's either 158, about the same size as Mount Ormond Resort, or upwards as far as it's pretty long, potentially 176, about the same size as like ARP. We'll have to wait and see once they map it out completely for the final numbers on that. But overall, I absolutely love the aesthetics of the map, absolutely love the aesthetics of the overall chapter, as it really does remind me of Dark Souls. And I don't know about all of you, but I am in love with Dark Souls at the end of the day, and I cannot wait for Elden Ring when it does come out.
I didn't play much Dark Souls, but just seeing the aesthetics of the map, I feel like I would have a little bit of a good feeling, just a good idea of how the game is. But also, what else do I have on my mind? What else do I have to think?
Let's see, the perks. What are your thoughts on the perks, especially the killer perks? I know, like, there's Overcome. I know there's, like, Boon Totem Exponential, which, that's getting a fat ban from COTF day 1. But Overcome is actually really interesting, looking like a better sprint burst when you look at the numbers.
Yeah, but you can have that moment of what if you are in the chase, you just somehow never get hit. And then when you do get hit, that is a little bit of 2 seconds, it said?
Yeah, it's an additional 2 seconds, but you actually gain more distance that you would from sprint burst otherwise.
Is this a really interesting perk that I want to have some more time on? Boon Exponential was really fun to try out. Me and Travis went into a PTB match, and I went and tested the numbers, and from what I got, it was 10 seconds shorter with No Mither and Unbreakable, and with the Boon Totem, it was around 12 seconds getting up.
Yeah.
12 seconds.
No, it's pretty good. The thing is that I don't think it's as meta-breaking as Circle of Healing was. The reason why is if you kind of bring in Circle of Healing, you're putting it next to a gen that's already been completed out in the corner of a map as a reset point. Whereas in order to get value from Boon Exponentially, you kind of have to place it very precariously in the middle, and you can't always estimate the amount of time saved from that. Whereas I can say every time someone heals in Circle of Healing, you're saving 16 seconds of time, versus when you are at Boon Exponential, it's hard to bring value to that. And I think it's going to be more akin to Power Struggle and how it changed the game. I think that if you hear Boon and you know that Boon Exponential is a thing, I think it just means that for every killer, you just don't slug out anymore. You go, you know what? I can't take the risk. I'm going to have to pick up immediately.
Sometimes when I play DUD, I always just stick with the pub mentality. And with the Boons, you can notice very quickly if you see somebody healing, if you hear a Boon around like 24 meters it is. Yep. You just see someone healing around that area. It's Circle of Healing. If someone's scratch marks and aura isn't there, you check that area and there's a Boon that's Shadow Step.
Yep.
Exponential could be a little bit of somewhat thing because people could actually 99 themselves and they don't want to try to give it away, just sit there. But then again, some survivors aren't like that. It's just a matter of if it's in play or if it's not in play. Because survivors could make it just plainly obvious, or they could just make you think that's not there.
I'd agree. I just don't think it's as powerful as meta warping as circular healing was in comparison, just for the sheer fact that you have to place the boon in a awkward location where it's a bit more fragile, where you can't also estimate the amount of time saved. So I think it's going to be like more power struggle where I no longer walk through pallets, even though I know that's never going to happen. I just do it just in case. But we are in to trial number 3. How do we get here versus Object of Depression? And it is indeed a Wraith.
The Bing Bong Boy with the add-ons that I usually run in comp with the newly all seeing and some Swift Hunt just to uncloak a little faster.
I mean, I think Swift Hunt is just a no-brainer on new Wraith, especially with the amount of time that he's lost on those uncloaks. You know, you didn't think that quarter of a second was going to be impactful, but it really, really is. As we do see Swift Hunt here put in some work and getting the hit on the Nancy.
I didn't even see the Nancy, did you?
Honestly, I didn't either. I don't think they did. I think that was purely a happenstance scenario.
Yeah, I wonder what Nancy is doing.
I think Nancy is trying to mind game there a little bit, try and make Mr. Dave think, what side am I going to be on? Unfortunately, I think they would have been better off sitting at the pallet rather than at the window in those type of moments.
Trying for a basement hook here as well. Inside of the corrupt area. His corrupt looks a little bit spread out from what I saw. So we got one corrupted and maybe a two. No, I see two corrupted. Oh, his region's right here. So he can just leave this. Come back a little bit before she hits second. That pressure away. We have two people here. Two people here on the gen.
And we see Ruin doing its work, so that gen will be regressing pretty significantly. But Wraith being privy to the thought of these survivors and will push this Feng Min off the gen. I just want to call her Kate with that cosmetic. I'm not gonna lie.
She almost looks like a Kate a little bit, but then you see the little Power Ranger outfit she has on, and after a little bit of a sightsee, and so you know, no, I don't think that's a Kate. It's a Feng.
That's fair.
If you didn't catch the bamboozle right there, it's on the meat tree window.
Yeah, that was definitely important, and we do see that Mr. Dave did drop off that chase, and will be going for the unhook here for the Nancy.
Yeah.
And looks like we're at a hook standoff at this moment in time, as Draft is trying to bait out this unhook. This will give these survivors enough time to do some gens in the meanwhile, but Henny about to move the second stage, and sure enough, there it is. And Mr. Dave, once again, just being patient, making sure that they can't get it, and it looks like Giraffe may have messed up and will get grabbed.
Nice grab by Wraith. I'm pretty sure that unhook was 99 too. I would not even move. I would just stay here and, you know, give some little nodders. Just stay at the hook. You don't really need to go anywhere else. You have two people in the basement, just camp them both out.
Yeah, but even better yet, you can go and down the Feng Min here as they were in the middle of healing. Case in point, why you should always try and heal in the middle of a pallet if at all possible.
Was he a pre-drop here? Nope, she just running straight down for the unhook. And what do we have?
Unfortunately, another grab. These survivors being a little too ambitious. And it looks like we got 3/4 of a basement tree here in the month of November. A little bit early, Wraith, a little bit early. Though, we do see an unbreakable play as well.
As also how I was going to say, we see ourselves in a little basement Christmas tree. And a little bit of a... I'm pretty sure a talent validation hit there. Maybe he heard it, and maybe I didn't. But we see the unhook happen with Fang and the Mang.
Unfortunately, they only get the Nia out, and with Unbreakable out of the game, this looks to be pretty much the end of this match. Wraith kind of going back and forth thinking, do I want to go for the pickup and hook? Do I want to go for the survivor instead? Trying to locate the survivor, but not able to make it happen. And so, looks like they're going to be able to probably dodge the hook here.
I don't know if he looked down to see if she was still there. She probably ran out. She made a lot of distance, too, from the shack. Maybe she's hiding behind the corner of the map, waiting for him to leave, or to just go away. Someone saying, hey, I don't hear him no more. He's gone.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Definitely hard to tell. But looks like Wraith is still on the prowl, trying to find this last survivor, just slugging out from the 4K, as we do see a Megalo about to move to death. And unfortunately for how to get here, looks like this will be a pretty quick match. As looking in the locker real quick, seeing that, you know, just little bits of blood, thinking maybe that might be from the survivor, but no dice there.
Unfortunate to start, but how do we get here? I didn't really expect this kind of an outcome against the Wraith on Torment.
I mean, realistically speaking, Mr. Dave being very patient, going for the right plays in regards, and I'm not sure if Mr. Dave saw it, but I did see some scratch marks there to the right, and I imagine All-Seeing will find the survivor here in just a moment. But maybe that All-Seeing nerf just coming in clutch here and hiding Geeky Giraffe's presence from the Wraith.
That All-Seeing nerf just coming in just very clutch right there. Just that 6 meters just away from the add-on just cuts away so much. And I didn't really notice it until I started playing Wraith a few days after his nerf, and it makes a really huge difference with mind games or trying to scope out for the first survivor.
Yeah, I think at this point sometimes that could be argued that maybe double Swift Hunt would be the better option here, all things considered.
I just don't know what you do here.
I mean, best thing to do, you could do one of two things. You can either hook trade out to try and get the hatch maybe, or alternatively try and go for the escape. But with Wraith being 150 speed while cloaked, there really just isn't any way for you to, you know, outmaneuver. And we do see All-Seeing here, and actually a bit of Undying too. That totem coming in clutch here for the Wraith, giving some additional information. And the chase will begin with Mr. Dave and Geeky Giraffe, as Geeky Giraffe tries to go for the light burn, but a little bit too late. Not to mention All-Seeing makes it a little bit more difficult, and that there will be the end of trial number 3.
Number 3 just going right into the hands of Object of Depression. 4K at 4 gens. Really impressive by the right there.
And overall, just really good game, and that there will solidify Object of Depression's win as we go into game number 4. So game number 4 will be a bit of a meme match, I would imagine, as how do we get here, will be playing as the killer on Torment Creek.
Just GG's Object of Depression, GG's. How do we get here? I just didn't see how do we get here really getting their foot off the brake, you know? Did you see, you know? I didn't really see any, you know, starts or anything for how do we get here. I just felt like everything was so fast paced. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think there just came down to a few mistakes being made. Obviously, some good plays trying to be made in the basement, but unfortunately, just things were not able to come together. And so that, you know, kind of went from a 1-person basement to 2 people in basement. All of a sudden, there's 3, and at that point, there ain't much you can do.
Not really much you can do. Just good game by you, Mr. Dave. Just how, like you said, he was super patient with that unhook. Like I said, I feel like she had it 99, but DBD said, I'm gonna just give it to the Wraith anyway. I want a Christmas tree in basement.
Yeah, you don't see the basement trees all too often, that is for sure. But with that being said, we are going to be moving into trial number 4 with how do we get here as the killer on Torment Creek. And I believe we are going to be seeing Hammy as the killer.
I have never seen Hammy play killer before, so this will be even more interesting for me.
Yes.
This will be the first time we watch Hammy play killer.
So Hammy is more traditionally like a Billy player, has some variety of beyond that, but most times I have seen them play a lot of Billy and Legion, I would say.
So you expect a Billy or Legion this game? I expect the last time they played, we saw them play a Michael on Gas Heaven.
This is true, this is true.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like, well, how do we get here? They just bring whatever they want to bring.
Oh, I know what you want them to bring, Chef. I know you want them to bring a demo in trial number 4.
Maybe. I know it won't happen, but, you know, a demo, man, he can dream, you know? I can dream for a demo game, but unfortunately it won't happen, I'm pretty sure.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, but with that being said, we are getting everyone into lobby as we speak, and I see a question in chat saying, for the meme game, is it possible for Object of Oppression to bring no perks, you know, all 4 of them? And, I mean, you're not doubling up on any perks, so theoretically speaking, if you did want to bring no perks, yeah, you could bring no perks.
You're technically not bringing any banned perks, so you're fine.
Yeah, exactly, you know, no perks doubled up, so it's just, you know, no perks.
Well, we're just going to be seeing some DBD on hard mode right now with these survivors. Maybe the killer will go perkless soon.
I'm doubtful on that one, but we'll have to wait and see what Hammy decides to bring to the table.
Yeah, we're just waiting for our 4th survivor to hold in. Right now we have Hammy, Mr. Dave, Trixon, and we're in the lobby, just waiting for the 4th.
Yep, and looks like the last will be Certified Persona. So we do have the full Object of Oppression team here and ready to go. Now just waiting on their builds, and we'll be jumping into trial number 4. As a reminder, guys, though this one is pretty much said and done, we do have another match at 6 p.m. CST. That one is going to be Cookies versus what was formerly known as the Dino Alliance, now Atrocity. So definitely make sure to be here for that, as that will definitely be a bit of a slug match with Cookies, one of our playoff finalists. And unfortunately for Atrocity, just narrowly... Actually, wait, did Atrocity get in? Hold on 1 second. Was Atrocity the other one? Standings. Let's take a look real quick. Atrocity... Actually, no. Yeah, Atrocity is in on playoffs. Cookies is on playoffs. So, in that case, yeah, we have 2 playoff teams here. Atrocity, Cookies. Regicide was the 3rd. And then we also have Monarchy joining them as the 4th. So definitely make sure to be here for that match.
Now my question is, how is the playoffs going to work? Will it be like the first, like number 1 team versus number 4 team? Is it going to be like...
Yep. So it's going to be number 1 versus number 4, 2 versus 3, and then Sunday Division only has 2 teams going to playoffs. So it's going to be for Dwight's One Locker versus Travesty for the Sunday Division, though they'll be playing on the Saturday playoff time.
I really want to see Regicide versus Cookies. That's going to be an interesting game. I don't know who's number 4 right now, but that's a really good matchup I want to see.
Yeah, I believe we're looking at... It's going to be probably... Let's see. I think it's going to be Cookies versus Monarchy and Atrocity versus... I'm blanking out. Regicide, I think it's going to end up being.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be that too. But, you know, maybe we'll see Cookies versus Regicide in the semifinals. Maybe we'll see Cookies versus Atrocity. Or maybe we won't see Cookies at all. Maybe we'll see a Monarchy go against Regicide or Atrocity.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see.
The only thing that matters right now, well, the one thing I'm interested in right now is who's going to win between Fort Whites versus Travesty. 2 really good teams in the Sunday Division. Unfortunately, not a lot of, I don't know how to put it, just not a lot of teams in the Sunday Division.
There were initially, but due to things like, you know, inter-team issues or scheduling issues, it did result in situations where teams had to withdraw from the Sunday Division, resulting in fewer teams moving over to playoffs. However, for Season 2, where we have 8 teams per pool, we'll definitely be having some more interesting playoff and thus final results.
And we all can't wait for Season 2. And when will Season 2 start, though?
I believe that there is going to be January... I forget if I said it to be the 2nd or if I said that was going to be the 8th. I have to double check on the exact time. But it will be the beginning of January, just to dodge those holiday conflicts that I'm sure most people are going to have.
Well, you're here. You said January 8th or 2nd?
It's either probably going to be January 8th or the 2nd, more likely than not. Might want to avoid, you know, the New Year's time as well. Though I can actually double check real quick, as I can just go into challenge. And the result, once it lets me log in, that is January 9th is the official date.
January 9th, right down the calendars, HDWGH gamers. As Season 2 of Champions of the Fog will start right then, and I want to know who's going to be the opener.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very, very exciting, especially as we do have a $525 prize pool for Season 2. We'll be looking at, I believe, was it $300 for first place, $150 for second place, and $75 for third. So definitely going to be quite exciting.
I'm just counting how many teams are going to be in season. Be in season 2. You said 16 teams.
16 teams total, 8 in each division. Correct.
That's a lot of teams, and I'm pretty sure season 1 we didn't really have many teams, or we had teams just drop out, or numbers and schedules got in the way.
We had just about the same number of teams. It was about 10 teams actually in Saturday division, and then 8 teams in Sunday. So we actually had more at 18, but wanted to keep it a bit more consistent, having a 12 p.m. start time and an 8 p.m. end time, trying to make it a bit more condensed. And we actually had a lot of teams signed up. We have everyone from Golden Wolves, Shadow Wolves. We have a lot of teams from Season 1 joining us, and potentially even more. So definitely going to be some interesting stuff going into Season 2. Maybe eventually might even have to do qualifiers with a number of teams looking to participate in COTF, which is quite exciting. But we'll have to wait and see come Season 3 for the amount of teams looking to participate.
Will there be a preseason game? Preseasons for Champions of the Fog Season 2?
Probably not, just once again due to the holiday time frame. But, at the end of the day, I'm sure teams will already be practicing the Season 2 rule set as we approach that time frame.
I'm just ready for Season 2. I'm just ready for Season 2. I'm super excited. There's a lot of new teams, as you said, Golden Wolves, Shadow Wolves this year, just other big names, people returning from Season 1 to Season 2.
Should be a whole lot of fun, but that being said, we do see a Demogorgon.
Yeah, I love you. You're my favorite person in the world. They get the win. They get the win automatically. How do we get here to win? Thank you so much. Oh my god. He's running my build too.
I want to say this might be maybe the second or third time that we've seen Demogorgon in Champions of the Fog. And we do see Certified Persona in chase at this moment in time. Hammy, though, losing those scratch marks as we do see the Nancy jump off a lit totem. And Certified Persona going to be dropping the pallet on the Demo Boy, giving him a quick old smack. And Certified Persona confirming the pallet break before moving to the next tile. And it looks like we'll be going over to the shack as Hammy gets the shred from afar. I mean, Demo Boy can definitely get those very nice lunges. We do see the shack pallet dropped here, and a totem does go out. The question is what totem that was, as we did see a few spawn here in the map.
I didn't really see Zen touched at the start, but I didn't hear his name, so we get off of it, and there's no ruin. Well, it could have been a
Yeah, it doesn't look like Ruin at this point in time, but we do see Hammy in another chase. Giltspire is now injured, and that will be a down on the Nancy. Relatively quick, as that was about 1 minute and 30 seconds, give or take, at the beginning of this match, and it looks like Hammy will be a bit greedy here, and will end up dry kicking the gen. Going to be interesting to see if that might bite them butt, as we do see the Nancy underneath the pallet and Steve very close by.
There'll be a pallet. I don't think there's going to be a pallet safe here. And basement spawn right there in the main. I don't know. There's usually 3 gens. There's one on one side of main that's corrupted. There's one in the middle with main. And there's also, I think that was a gen that was right beside main 2 to the right. And 2 gens pop with that basement door.
Yeah, these survivors definitely not wasting any time as they pop off those gens pretty quickly. So though Hammy did get the hook, unfortunately it did cost them 2 gens for the price of 1. And looks like Hammy trying to pull something cheeky here, putting down 3 portals here. It's going to be a little bit interesting to say the least.
I wonder where he's getting this idea from. Maybe a certain other Demogorgon player from last week, probably.
Yeah, it was an interesting play you pulled off when you faked out a basement unhook by teleporting very close by, but looks like the survivors not falling for that. Demogorgon will get it on Steam. Looks like this will be a 1-for-1 trade for the Nancy, but Demo going to be trying to go for the hit here, and Demo forgetting that Demo can't lunge up the stairs, just down or on a horizontal surface.
Surprisingly, he can. He just went way too close to the side of the stairs. He just got cooked.
I'm pretty sure he can't lunge upstairs. I thought it was that on a certain elevation or certain angle that he couldn't.
It's a certain. You can't be too like going downward. You can't go the slope can be super downwards, or you can't get a shred from going down, but going up, you're basically just elevating yourself closer to the survivor, so you can get a hit or down going upstairs from basement.
All right, I'll have to test that out a little bit. That is definitely news to me. But we do see Hammy here prowling around, trying to see where these survivors might be, and they do end up finding Certified Persona out in the open, and looks like they will try and go to a chase here on this LT wall. Let's see Certified Persona's perspective, as Hammy does put down another portal and will actually be going back to basement for the unhook.
That's a spectator glitch right there. That's a little funny spectator glitch right there. You see it in the basement and no one's there.
And no one whatsoever, so maybe we're just gonna end up seeing a second stage progression, as we do hear a pallet for some reason go down, and Embler though will move to second stage. So that will be the first survivor on Death Hook at this point in time, as we do see Hammy once again trying to just go back and forth between this generator and the basement, opting to try and push off the Feng Min. But looks like no one's going for the basement unhook, just given this demo all the time in the world, as these last two survivors might just be on the final two gens.
I don't know. I guess this is a good play. Oh, there's 3 gens still on that side. Wait, did you see it? Wait, was there somebody down there?
No, no one down there, but Nancy did go right across, and still no scratch marks at this time in the game. So Embler only 30 seconds away from dying on their first hook. So it is possible that we might see a full proxy/camp out.
Yeah, no one's going down there to go save, so I guess this is going to be a death for Embler and some points on the board for the demo board.
It will indeed. So with only about a second left, that will be the first death of the game, and now they are on the Feng Min. Feng Min not dropping the pallet, however, will probably end up taking a hit here, though Feng Min being privy to that shred will end up dodging it, as we do hear the 4th gen pop off, and the demo narrowly missing his M1.
Some whoops here by demo. Nice power drop by Feng. You try to go for some shreds or something.
And unfortunately, that fire barrel put in a bit of a dent in that plan, but Demo will not get the hit. I'm a bit surprised about that. Feng Min must have been just right outside of his range, and this will be another chase, as the Ace and the Nancy are probably out and about at this point in time.
They're probably just stacking the lives and trying to, and Feng's buying them as much time as they can. There's no shack power as I was dropping the first 5 gens. You can get it down. You can get it down here on the Feng. Nope, you got a whip.
Yeah, it looks like maybe trying to fake out the shred ended up missing. Feng Min just narrowly dodging. Maybe getting spun here a little bit, getting a bit confused where the Feng Min is going, and she's going to be trying to get to something safe. And once again, not sure if that's a dead hard or what, but not able to make it work, as you can see Tricks here end up on the gen, and we'll hear that last one pop off, and these fires will make an attempt at an escape.
Remember, they said they wanted to play DBD on hard modes too, so I'm pretty sure some of them don't have perks.
Yeah, I think you are right, more likely than not. So maybe not a dead hard, maybe just a false hit and or whiff by Hammy. Definitely a rough time indeed. And looking to set up another set of portals here, right in front of this hook, maybe trying to bait out these survivors.
Maybe. And I don't think it's going to work, because there's a door there that could be already 99 from where the ace is right. And the ace is right there, Shaq, so I'm pretty sure that door's 99 let's say.
Yeah, more likely not, but even if it's 99, I don't think Ace would get to that exit gate in time, so Hammy will opt to go for the chase on the Ace, and Ace has yet to be hooked, but Hammy being once again very aggressive with those shreds, but doing more harm than good on those misses, unfortunately.
Some good juice, you know, once you want action from the Ace here, you're gonna be a and then once you with that fireball on the way, the risk of being clipped is very high.
Yeah, I think unfortunately for the Ace, he's trying to be at that shred, but Hammy being privy to that ends up getting the hit, and so this will be the first hook for Mr. Dave. And the question then remains, will Hammy claim the 2K, as Nancy and Feng Min did end up healing, and they're going to be trying to, once again, proxy the hook with these portals.
Yeah, this is somewhat of a mean game. Probably someone might have went Perkless, but you gotta be surprised with how many hooks, how many stages this demo has.
Yeah, Demo definitely has done well, even without perks. You know, survivors have put up a good fight, and yeah, I think it's a bit more of a mean game, yes. At the same time, I do also believe that, you know, these survivors and killers are still putting in some work. And we see a hit on the Nancy, and looking around for that Feng Min to go for the unhook, but looks like they'll opt to not chase as Mr. Dave will move to second stage.
As well, it looks like 7 stages for that. For demo right now, and it looks like they're probably gonna leave. Yep.
Yeah, it looks like they opted to take it out, so that's not bad. I mean, an 8-hook 2K, definitely some good numbers for a Demogorgon. But with that being said, that match will result in 29 points for Object of Depression, Survivor Team, and 28 points for How Do We Get Here's Demogorgon. And sure enough, there was only 1 perk that entire match for the Survivor Squad.
And unfortunately, and just like in just pubs, there's always a PT that's camped to death. So they were just playing, basically, like I said, perkless the whole time.
Yep, indeed. But with that being said, that there is the end of this match as OOD ends with 165 points and How to Get Here with 56. So congratulations to Object of Depression for the win, and GG, well played to How Do We Get... Alright, sorry. Congratulations to OG for the win, and to How Do We Get Here, GG, well played.
Yeah, congratulations on the game, but How Did We Get Here? Congratulations. In my opinion, you won this season. You win all together. Thank you so much for this demo game. I'm so happy. You win everything. This is hand them the prize money. Yep, we'll see you next season. Season 2.
They get the honorary chef award. That's what you get.
Yes, you get the chef hat award. You get the chef hat.
Indeed. But that being said, guys, as I did mention earlier, we'll be back here once again at 6 p.m. CST for a match of Cookies versus Atrocity, formerly Undyne Alliance. So definitely make sure to be here, as it'll be Chef and I once again. But before we go, Chef, if everyone wanted to go say hi to you next time you are live, where would they find you?
Twitch.tv/ChefDBD. That's where you'll find me.
And as always, guys, I'm your commissioner, but also an educational Dead by Daylight player. I am Mark, aka Giltspire. Definitely make sure to stop on by and say hi. I'll be live once again at 7 p.m. CST on Monday. But on that note, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
See ya.